راديو. سنقوم ببث برنامجك عبر مواقع متعددة مثل واو، أويل، كواجوك، يامبيو، بور، رن، ملكال وباليت، وبيضمن أقصى قدرة من التغطية والتأثير.
التواجد الإقليمي: بتمتد بصمة آي راديو إلى ولاية غرب وشمال بحر الغزال، غرب والاستوائية الوسطى، جونغلي، أعالي النيل وواراب. من خلال التعاون مع آي راديو يمكنك التواصل مع المجتمعات المتنوعة والجماهير المستهدفة في المناطق ديل.
مشاركة المجتمع: الشراكة مع آي راديو بتعني التعامل مع مجتمعات على مستوى الشعبي. رسالتك
Live from Juba, on air and online.
This is iRadio News.
Hello, good morning. This is iRadio News. First, here are the headlines. A lawmaker representing Yei River County in the Transitional National Legislative Assembly has appealed for urgent humanitarian assistance following a series of violent attacks that have displaced hundreds of civilians. South Sudan's government has reaffirmed its unwavering commitment to peaceful cooperation and shared development with Sudan. And the Bank of South Sudan is inviting eligible banks to take part in a major term deposit facility auction with a total of 20 billion South Sudan pounds for grabs. This is stories and more coming to you in this news bulletin with me, Lasuba Memo, and now the news in detail. A lawmaker representing Yei River County in the Transitional National Legislative Assembly has appealed for urgent humanitarian assistance following a series of violent attacks that have displaced hundreds of civilians. Dr. Garda James raised the alarm during Monday's sitting of the Assembly, saying that armed opposition forces' attacks in parts of Yei River County, especially in the Pakula, Boma and Mugo Payam, have forced more than 400 households to flee their homes. According to James, displaced families from areas such as Marjub and Korobe Mountains have taken refuge in Pakula Center. In Mugopayam, a separate wave of violence led to government forces being overrun by armed opposition groups, with houses burned and civilians forced to flee to Watogopayam. The lawmaker emphasized that women, children, and elderly are now stranded in remote forested areas lacking basic supplies and protection. The MP urged the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and the Assembly's Committee for Humanitarian Affairs to act swiftly and deliver emergency support to the affected communities. In response, the Speaker of the Assembly, Jemanu Kumba, acknowledged the concern and directed the matter to be handled through the appropriate committee and coordinated with the ministry. South Sudan's government has reaffirmed its unwavering commitment to peaceful cooperation and shared development with Sudan. This was during a high-level meeting in Juba on Monday, where President Salva Kiir hosted a deputy chairman of Sudan's Sovereign Council, Malek Agar Arie. According to the Office of the President, the discussions focused on strengthening bilateral relations, particularly in the areas of economic growth and security collaboration. South Sudan's Foreign Minister, Monday Semaya Kumba, who attended the meeting, stated that the talks centered on building comprehensive economic ties between the two nations. Minister Kumba added that the visiting Sudanese delegation also briefed President Kiir on Sudan's current security and economic situation, while it engages in dialogue on wider regional peace and stability. Sudan's ambassador to South Sudan, Issa Mohamed Hassan Karer, echoed similar sentiments, expressing Khartoum's commitment to deepening cooperation with Juba across all sectors. The Bank of South Sudan is inviting eligible banks to take part in a major term deposit facility auction with a total of 20 billion South Sudan pounds up for grabs. The announcement, dated August 11, 2025, outlines that the funds will be offered in three parts: 10 billion pounds for the 28th day tenor, 6 billion pounds for the 84-day tenor, and 4 billion pounds for the 336-day tenor. The tender, signed by Grace Araba Gordon, Director for Financial Markets at the Bank of South Sudan, stated that the auctioning will be held on August 13, 2025, and settlement will be finalized the same day. The interest rate offered will be below the central bank rate, currently set at 13%. However, banks should note that early withdrawal will result into a 25% penalty on the accrued interest. Bid submissions will be accepted between 9 and 10 in the morning, either via email or through the Refinitiv, a digital platform that connects a thriving global financial markets community, with evaluation to take place immediately afterward. Banks without Refinitiv access must submit their bids in a single authenticated PDF file and send it through email to addresses previously provided by the bank. It said application forms and full guidelines can be obtained from the Financial Markets Department at the bank's head office in Juba or downloaded from the official website at boss.gov.ss. This is iRadio Morning News. And now to the international scene, a South African airline, EasyJet, has suspended one of its captains after it was reportedly seen roaming a luxury hotel drunk and naked. The unnamed pilot was witnessed walking through common areas of a five-star resort in Cape Verde without any clothes on in the early hours of the morning on August 5th after an extended drinking session in a bar, according to The Sun. He was due to operate a return flight to Gatwick more than 36 hours later, but was grounded after the budget airline received complaints about the incident and a replacement pilot found. And EasyJet, his spokesperson, told the BBC the pilot now faces an investigation and that the safety of passengers and crew was its highest priority. Finally, the US and China have extended their trade truce until 10th of November, just hours before a jump in tariffs had been set to take effect. In a joint statement, the world's two biggest economies said triple-digit tariffs on each other's goods announced earlier this year will be suspended for another 90 days. Talks last month ended with both sides calling the discussions constructive. China's top negotiator said at the time that the two countries would push to preserve the truce, while U.S. officials said they were waiting for final sign-off from U.S. President Donald Trump. On Monday, Trump signed an executive order to extend the tariff truce. This is iRadio Morning News, and to end this bulletin, here's a recap of the headlines. A lawmaker representing Yei River County in the Transitional National Legislative Assembly has appealed for urgent humanitarian assistance following a series of violent attacks that have displaced hundreds of civilians. South Sudan's government has reaffirmed its unwavering commitment to peaceful cooperation and shared development with Sudan. The Bank of South Sudan is inviting eligible banks to take part in a major term deposit facility auction with a total of 20 billion South Sudan pounds up for grabs. That's the end of iRadio Morning News. If there is a story or an event you'd like iRadio to cover or report about, please send us a text message at +211 925 287 870. It's also our WhatsApp number. Follow us on X at iRadio Juba. Like our Facebook page iRadio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at iRadio South Sudan. You can also visit our website and listen to us online at www.iradio.org. Stay tuned for the news in Arabic at 8 o'clock. I'm Lasuba. Memo. Thanks for listening.